Chalo.
Let's
1,
go.
2, 3.
People will not remember you for your work. People will remember you for how you treated them.
But now this is the real story that you were an entrepreneur before,
You know?
then content creation started.
Ideal move would be to, get famous first and then create a brand because the recall value for the brand would be higher.
What was that one thing which was like, bro, I'm viral? When was that one thing? What's the story behind your brand?
There's no special story, but as I said, I didn't want to name my brand after me.
Right. There is a huge difference between blogger and an influencer.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? We are over here with yet another podcast, and today we have one crazy, amazing, gorgeous, beautiful soul जिसने social media पे बहुत ही धूम मचा के रखी है. She belongs from a fashion industry. She has done a lot of gigs. She has done a lot of shoots with top niche brands and everything. She's a stylist. She has come to an influencer industry, influencing the भाई pioneer थी madam उस चीज की, and she has taken a lot of awards. Naming like Cosmopolitan. She is also a part of Google panel. कैसे कर लेते हो Juhi? So we have Juhi over here, guys.
Thank you.
What's up, Juhi?
You
How's
tell
it
me.
going?
Good, very
Everything
good.
is fantastic.
Very good.
You tell me, कैसे कर लेते हो?
I mean, सोचा तो नहीं था. I started.
बस हो गया.
Step by step शुरू किया था, and even like content creation, right? जब मैंने start किया था, I didn't think that this would be a thing. I just did it for fun because my friends told me that, oh, you dress well, why don't you take photos?
Okay.
That's how it actually started.
Yeah, okay.
8 years ago, content creation wasn't a thing. It wasn't like a...
Exactly, and I believe that you guys were the pioneer, top 5 pioneer.
Yeah.
Because मेरे को जहाँ तक पता है कि बचपन में क्या होता था, जिसको भी इन्फ्लुएंसर या ब्लॉगिंग बनना था तो जूही तो नाम आता था दिमाग में.
Wow.
ठीक है? Yeah, it was. Naming my sister, bro.
Wow.
My sister also used to tell me, yeah, this, she's good. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, who? She's like, there is this blogging influencing thing which is super viral,
Yeah.
and she's like a coach to me. I was like, okay,
Amazing.
that's nice. So tell me the entire thing, how
Yeah.
it started, what happened.
So, I mean, obviously I tried my thing with a couple of different fields. So, I started as a stylist. I started as an intern actually at Grazia. Then I got offered a job there, but I didn't take it up. I went to London to study fashion because I wanted to start मेरा खुद का business.
Okay.
Grazia में काम करके लगा कि नहीं, I don't want to work for anyone else. It wasn't like beneath me, but I just didn't enjoy it. I wanted to
Okay.
be my own boss. And I was very inspired by my mom because my parents also, started their own...
I believe your dad is a very famous makeup artist.
Yeah, my parents have worked in Bollywood for like 3 decades, and they also started their own cosmetic brand. So I was very inspired by my
that's
parents.
amazing.
Yeah. So and my parents are very supportive. Right,
That's
like
how
when
it
I
should be.
came back from London and I started this whole content creation thing, it like they didn't know मैं कर क्या रही हूँ. Every day or every other day, 7:30 in the morning, I would go shoot, and my parents were like, okay, कुछ कर रही है. We don't know what she's
चर्चे
doing.
में मेरी लड़की, but कुछ कर रही है.
मेहनत कर रही है.
मेहनत कर रही
That's
है.
all they were very supportive, and somehow it just clicked for me. And Arabella took a backseat. I'd gone to London thinking that I'll come back and start a clothing brand, but that didn't happen. It happened.
Okay.
We launched the brand in a very big way. I actually have a store at Phoenix Market City in Mumbai. Now we had to shut it during COVID, but that's how Arabella started. We did a massive fashion show where Adukia Shetty walked for us. So it launched in a very, very big way. But content creation just took off for me. And I didn't anticipate it. Somehow it just became my job.
Part of your journey.
Exactly. And, Arabella took a backseat because I traveled a lot, yeah. In my early 20s, I was very fortunate to be able to travel a lot because of work. And then COVID came along, where Arabella also kind of got rebranded, and we kind of restarted the brand. And now I'm kind of juggling between, being an entrepreneur and content creation.
So you started, so now if I'll put things in one go, there is a misconception that you became fashion influencer, come blogger first, then the entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
But now this is the real story that you were an entrepreneur before, then content creation started.
So I have to tell you, it's actually a very interesting story. I was sitting at my office.
Okay.
I had someone that I'd hired for performance marketing who's also a friend of mine. And I was like, listen, what if I start posting content? Because that way I'll create an audience for my brand.
True.
So it was a very strategic move.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I was like, let me start creating content. I'll start
This
posting.
was when? Which
This
year?
was literally like, I think 2013, when I
Oh
just
my
come back
God.
from London, and I just newly launched the brand, and I was like, listen, everyone tells me that you dress very well. Why don't you take photos? So might as well do something more out of it.
Correct.
So I started a blog called juhigodambe.com.
Okay.
And back then, everyone would call their blogs like funny names, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to name them, but like just a lot of funny
No,
names.
we want 2 names at
Nahi,
least.
I'm
No,
not going to do that.
we want 2 names
But
at
you know,
least.
just anything. People would just name their blogs by different things, but I was like, no, I want the blog to have my identity because I
Of
want
course.
people to know me for me.
Of
So
course.
I launched a website called juhigodambe.com where I was very consistent. I would go and shoot every alternate day early in the morning, go shoot outfits, write articles, and you know, it really picked up. So it was a very strategic move for Arabella, thinking that I'll create an audience, which did work out in my favor. But also a lot of people don't know that Arabella is my brand, because I also chose not to name Arabella after me.
Why?
So I feel like as a public figure, there are people that like you and there are people that don't like you.
Correct.
But I don't want people that don't like me to not like my brand.
Oh.
Because a lot of times what happens
makes
is,
sense.
a lot of times what happens is that just because a certain brand has been launched by a certain public figure, they'll kind of have these, you know, things about the brand as well, that maybe the brand is also like that person.
Correct.
Right? So I just wanted the brand to be very separate, which is why you'll always notice I'm not a part of my brand campaigns. I don't like, I'm not, I talk about my brand a lot. I'm very proud of my brand. I'm wearing Arabella right now.
Ooh!
Always repping Arabella.
You look hot, bro.
Thank you. But I kind of like to keep the two entities separate. I like
Okay.
Juhi Godambe to be a brand of its own and Arabella to
But
be
Juhi
a brand.
Godambe is for sure a brand now.
Thank you.
For sure. Because, see, I'll tell you. So while we were shortlisting people and we were checking out the background and everything, literally I'm telling you, in our meeting there were 10 people sitting, and among 10, 8 people took your name.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, let me do this thing for her. And you were very kind enough to tell me a yes also, because the reason why we are doing Kshitiz podcast, as I told you, that we want people to become something in a right manner. Because आज के दिन पे लोगों को ये भी नहीं पता blogging क्या है, influencer क्या है. So please first tell me one thing. There is a huge difference between blogger and an influencer.
Yeah.
आजकल लोग फोटोशूट कर करके खुद को ब्लॉगर
Right.
बना रहे हैं. तो प्लीज पहले तो आप ये बताइए कि what's the difference, because I really want people to know that there is a difference.
So simple theory. I feel people should know that every influencer is not a blogger.
Correct.
But every blogger is also not an influencer. Because at the end of it, an influencer is someone who's a public figure that has some sort of an influence on people. So it could also be a doctor. Nowadays, there are real estate influencers as well, right?
Yeah.
So just about anyone who has some sort of an influence or some sort of a following, that person is an influencer.
Correct.
But a blogger back in the day was literally a person who would have a blog where they would sit and write articles. Like I said, I had a blog called
Exactly. That's why it came in my mind.
But that has that whole chapter has fizzled away. No one really has blogs nowadays because everything is so instant, right? No one has the time to go on a website and read articles. Like, do you do that?
Yeah, I do that.
Oh, you do that. At least I don't. I feel like
Okay.
for me, I prefer everything instant. I don't have the time.
But don't you think so that people have started blogging in a way of verbal way more, because as you rightly said that people don't have time to read.
Yeah.
All right, because a lot of lack of maybe attention or whatever that
Yeah.
they cannot concentrate while reading, and maybe everyone is not a reader. So that's why now people have started wearing clothes and explaining that thing. I found it very nice. All right, because that's how a real blogger does that. कि ठीक है तुम पहन रहे हो उसके बारे में बता रहे हो. But now everyone is doing that.
yeah.
So what is that, if someone wants to become that, what is that one thing which people should always make sure that to become a blogger, you should keep such things in mind?
See, the main thing that everyone needs to keep in mind is that two things, okay?
Okay.
Firstly, nothing is going to come without hard work. I've worked my butt off.
I'm
like,
sure.
I'm telling you, I remember the days. I've always told people, firstly, the day I hate waking up and getting ready and shooting, I'm going to stop doing what I do because I freaking love my job. Okay, so, but I've worked very hard. So you have to work very hard. And second, you have to have an identity of your own. Because as you said, everyone wants to be a blogger nowadays.
Correct.
And everyone is a blogger nowadays.
Correct.
But you need a differentiating factor. How do you stand out from the rest?
Correct.
The reason why everyone's doing this is because this industry is booming. The amount of money that people are making is unreal.
How much money you are making?
I mean,
Please,
I don't.
I really want to know.
I mean, a lot of money. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm very proud of where I am
Of
today.
course.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of money. Very proud of it, and that's why people want to do this. But it's not easy. You need to have that differentiating factor.
Correct.
You know, you can't kind of just blindly copy what someone else is doing. Just because it went viral for a person, it won't go viral for you.
Correct.
So
Content matters.
Exactly. So the content matters. You have to be different. You have to be unique. And for example, I have a lot of friends in the industry, right? And we're all friends because there's no competition between us, because we know that we all bring something different to the table. Like, we all kind of have our own differentiating factors. So there's always like...
Everyone wants to know one thing. Juhi Godambe is an influencer, blogger, or a stylist.
You don't really, I mean, you can be everything, right? Like, why do I have to, like, I feel like my day starts as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because first half of my day is dedicated to my brand.
Correct.
Get everything out of the way, get things, set, tell my team exactly what to do. And then if I have to shoot or go to events, that happens.
Okay.
And now I'm a mom, which is also a very big part of my life.
Is so fucking cute.
Thank
bro.
you. Yeah,
so cute. So cute.
He's my world, and it's.
I asked you to get him, but you were like, you were also right that he's just 6 months now.
Yeah,
So
7 months now.
Yeah.
But so that takes up a lot of my time. In fact, this year has been one of the most difficult, but also the most amazing years of my life, because it's a lot of work, right? Like, I've not been sleeping a lot, because I'm still like breastfeeding, so that takes up a lot of your time and energy. So it's insane.
Is your husband doing the diaper things or not? Have you trained him well or not?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have great help at home.
Okay.
But my husband is an amazing dad. Like, watching him, I've been with my husband for 16 years now. We complete 16 years in September.
I mean,
so imagine, like,
16 years.
We've grown up together, and now looking at him as a dad is incredible. He's an amazing father.
It's an amazing feeling, yeah?
Amazing.
No, because I asked you because I remember that when my sister had a kid, my Gigi was like, bro, this is not what I'm gonna do.
He tries. See, I feel like, guys can't do everything. Like, the way women kind of take on the role of being a mother, for men, I feel it's a very different way of, doing things. But yeah, he's a great dad.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Juhi, tell me one thing. Your parents are such famous artists, all right, in that industry, in their own respective industry. Yeah. Why you never thought to choose that path?
I feel like I'm a very strong personality, and so is my mom. Like, we both like things our way. And I did try to work with my parents in the initial years.
How did you?
So I didn't want to get into. I didn't want to be a makeup artist or hairstylist. But my parents have a brand called Bharat and Doris.
Okay.
So I tried to work behind the scenes with my parents and manage the cosmetics line. In fact, I did do a lot of business trips with them. But it didn't work because I feel like as I said, I like to be my own boss. My mom.
मैं मेरी खुद की मालकिन हूँ.
और मुझे खुद का कुछ करना था. I wanted to kind of create my own identity, and I'm just very blessed that my parents didn't ever like tell me that you have to do this only. They were like, you
that's
do you.
Good, yeah, that's good.
There was a point I wanted to be a director also, and I've gone and done a direction course also. I've tried a lot of things.
Like what? Tell me what all things have you tried?
I mean, as I said, I've tried to work with my parents.
Okay, that's fine.
I used to do a lot of trips to China with my parents because they had. We used to do
they have to go for like
a lot of our packaging was made there, so I've learned a lot through those trips. I tried my hand at direction. I did a course at Whistling Woods. And then I did an internship at Grazia. I've done advertisements as a assistant stylist. Hated it.
Why would you?
Oh my god, I hate being on movie sets. It's like the worst fucking thing ever, because like, it's so slow. Like, and people don't value your time.
Correct.
So, looking at all of that, I'm glad I had those life experiences, because that's what motivated me to be my own boss.
Of course.
And which is why...
But it's good, no? Because you had all the experiences, and now all the experiences are coming to one place. Yeah. So it helped you a lot to grow. I
always tell people that any sort of experience is not a waste, because like, it teaches you... It'll always add value to you. It'll always teach you something. So anything that I've done so far, like be it working with my parents or like that direction course, that little gig that I did, or even like I learned so much from my husband, right? Like he's a Marwadi and he knows a lot. Exactly. And for him, it's all about the money and finance and all of that. And I didn't really know much about finance,
Yeah.
I started making money at a very young age.
What was that age?
At 21, 22. Like right after I came back from London, I started making money, 6 months into content creation. And it was a very good amount for that.
What was that one thing which was like, bro, I'm viral now? When was that one thing?
You know, I feel like I kind of live in a bubble sometimes.
No, you don't. You don't
I'll tell you what.
When I met you, you don't feel like you live in a bubble.
See,
You are
I've
like
learned
very
a lot.
happy-go-lucky
No,
person.
I've learned a lot over the years,
Okay.
but I also live in a bubble in the sense a lot of times, you know, I'm out and about and, you know, people, you know, recognize you or they kind of talk
Correct.
about you.
Correct.
But I end up not noticing a lot of it. And then people around me, like my friends and family go like, did you notice that? So even then, I felt like I had these blinders on and I was just focusing on working hard. And I kind of didn't realize how much of a success my blog was back in the day.
Correct.
You know, I was just focusing on working hard and doing my thing. And to me, being grounded as a person is very important. Because my mom said, you know, like, people will remember you for, you know, how you treat them.
Correct.
And not for like who you are or what you did. Because you'll be successful at some point, but people will not remember you for your work. People will remember you for how you treated them.
Wow.
So for me, that is very important. So yeah, even early on, I had those blinders on. I was focusing on working hard, stay grounded, and I didn't have that. I feel like I still don't think I've made it very big. I have a long way to go. I'm not being modest.
Correct.
Trust me. With Arabella, I have a lot of dreams, and we're like working
How this
towards
name
it.
Arabella came? What's the story behind your brand?
There's no special story, but as I said, I didn't want to name my brand after me.
Right.
And I just wanted a very easy to say word. Like I wanted
Okay.
a word that kind of sticks with you. Again, this was kind of strategic.
Yeah, it's stick on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, not that way, but it's a nice word.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's a pretty
But
word.
what's the meaning of that word?
It just means a pretty girl.
Oh. you
Yeah,
are a
and I
pretty
like
girl.
Bella.
Yeah.
So I came up with Arabella, and yeah, I love it.
And now you're like killing it.
Hopefully, we are trying to. And I feel like over the past 2 years since my husband has joined the brand,
Yeah.
he has his own thing also. My husband is into pharmaceuticals, by the way.
Okay.
A lot of people ask, let me address it. But he's also doing this with me on the side. He takes care of the operations and finances because he's really good at
It's
it.
so good, yeah, to work with.
Yeah.
And also there is a misconception that people think that when you're in a relationship or a marriage, you should not work with your partner because then बहुत ही कलेश होता है. तुमने कितने
सकता है.
कलेश किए?
नहीं होता है, वही है.
That's what I
क्योंकि-
want to address, that no,
हाँ.
you can work together.
I am surprised, you know, because I feel like we've differentiated what we do. Like he doesn't step on my toes, I don't.
Correct. The roles are very much-
and also like our teams are separate. Like the people that you know report to him are different people. The people that are under me are different at the office. So I feel like the only time when we actually have fights is when we have to sit on costings.
Okay.
You know, because sometimes when
उसका मारवाड़ी दिमाग
हाँ,
और
he's like
तुम्हारा-
नहीं मार्जिन बहुत कम है ये कॉस्ट कम कराओ वर्कशॉप में बोलो कॉस्ट तो उधर like we have fights because I am a creative
Correct,
soul, right? I'm
correct.
like no, but it looks so good, let's use this fabric because I want the best
So who
quality.
always wins in those
I
debates?
win, obviously. What do you think?
Boss lady. But no,
no,
but when it comes to businesses, so see, I'll tell you, when you talk to a finance guy, all right, when they try to cut down the cost and everything, so
Yeah.
don't you think so that makes more sense?
Absolutely. As I told you, I've learned so much from my husband.
Hmm.
Even now, like just yesterday, okay, like I went and swiped like some 15,000 somewhere, and थोड़े time के बाद my husband called me, where did you swipe this? What did you do? And I love it. Like I
Yeah,
love the
exactly.
fact that I have someone that I'm answerable to because
Exactly.
otherwise I could be a bit of a
Wow. So,
Yeah.
no, listen.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
You are like among those women who wants to answer.
Yeah.
But when I go on social media, they're like, fuck it.
No,
You are a woman. You should not be answerable to anyone.
See, I'm making my own money and he's
Exactly.
proud of me.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. So he's very proud of me, but I know he's doing this for me.
Right.
He's helping me out because otherwise I'm very bad with money.
Okay.
So he's just keeping me in check, which I really appreciate because he gives
That's
a fuck.
good. That's
like,
love, bro.
Otherwise, yeah, like he has nothing to lose, right?
Exactly,
like if I'm spending my own
exactly.
money. But I just love the fact that he keeps me in check and he's always like, where did you spend this? Ye kyun? Listen, even coffee, right? Like I have a weakness for coffee, and there used to
That
be a
we
time.
just saw.
हाँ, exactly. There used to be a time where मैं दिन में like you know 3-4 coffee बाहर से मंगाती थी, which is like $300-400, and he would be like, listen, we have a coffee machine at home. Why are you still calling for these expensive coffees? Just make it at home. And I was like, but it's not. It's about the experience. He's like, what do you mean? So now even that has changed.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's taught me a lot.
But that's actually like if you're drinking 4 to 5 cups of coffee from outside, so the sensible move would
Yeah,
be
just
that
make it
to
at
make
home.
it at home. But yeah, the taste wouldn't match.
Taste, no. For me, it's about the experience. Like you know, for people, it's like
Exactly.
for people, it's like getting a cigarette, right? I don't
Correct.
smoke.
Okay.
But for a lot of people, like taking a break is going and smoking a cigarette. For
Correct.
me, it's having a cup of coffee.
How many coffees you need today?
I'll need a couple because it's been an early start, but 2 to 3 cups a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Juhi, there's a huge debate in the market in the field of entrepreneurship. All right. So there are people who wants to become famous first, then start a brand. Or else, likewise, otherwise, there are people who think that कि नहीं मैं पहले मेरा brand बनाती हूँ, ठीक है, famous तो मैं ऐसे ही हो जाऊँगी, ठीक है. So what's your take? The person should become, like for example, for a lifestyle influencer, per se that I'm a lifestyle influencer, so should I do blogging first and then open my brand, which is usually everyone is doing, or you want me to start a business first and with that you start creating content? What's the best move according to you?
That's a good question. I feel like for me it worked the other way around because I didn't think that I would do well as a content creator, you know, because as I said, this industry didn't exist back in the day.
Correct.
But of course the ideal move would be to, you know, get famous first and then create a brand because the recall value for the brand would be higher.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely I feel and also like don't just start a brand. I've been seeing that a lot of people are starting brands for the heck of it, like skincare brands, merchandise.
Oh my god, so many brands,
yeah,
bro.
But I feel like, see, I can proudly say that Arabella has a differentiating factor. I'm a resort wear brand, and tell me how many resort wear brands exist in this country? Like a homegrown, very few, right?
Very few, yeah.
So Arabella
that's the differentiator when you thought,
yeah. So we are a resort wear brand, but I feel like people are just starting brands for the heck of it. Like, do something that's different.
Correct.
Give it a reason to work.
But don't you think so that people are very like skeptical about to find the differentiator? Because उन लोग अटक जाते हैं, उन लोग का life ही वहाँ अटक जाता है.
Then don't start.
फिर then what they do? Same भेड़ चाल.
But that's the thing. People are starting a brand just for the heck of it. Don't start a brand. So kind of figure out what you like, na? Like if you like home decor, if you like you know, clothes, if you like books, like do something that and also don't be afraid of failures, right? If you start something and if you fail, it's fine. At least you tried. But be true to what, like believe in your product, because if you don't believe in it, like why would others believe in it, right? So yeah.
So in your entire fashion blogging, influencing, entire that era, have you faced any controversial thing ever?
So
where you were like, bro, what the fuck is happening? Like this is like so stupid.
Yeah. I feel like not controversies. Luckily for me, I've always, you know, had a very like loving set of audience. Like I've not had a lot of like negative criticism or anything of that sort. But I have to tell you, like when we started, as I said, this industry didn't exist. And people in the fashion industry were trying to gatekeep their seats.
Correct.
So I remember going to Fashion Week and being allotted a front row seat and everyone sitting across were like giving us eye rolls. Ki, who the hell are they? Like, why are they seated here? Like, what have they done to deserve? I remember people from magazines, people from, you know, even fashion designers, they just like kind of gave us eye rolls being like, you guys don't deserve to be here. Even now.
Yeah.
I don't want to take names, but even now, I feel like people just want to kind of be ignorant and not realize that being an influencer,
value you guys
exactly the value we bring, because everyone wants us.
Correct.
They don't want to say it, but everyone wants us.
That's the most fucked up part. You know, everyone wants you guys for their promotion.
Exactly.
But when it comes to giving the honor, dignity, and all those things, they're like, bro.
But you know, I have to tell you a story. It's so sad.
Please.
It's so sad, but this happened. Okay, recently I had to. I basically had to go to my son's play school in Bombay. You have to go and enroll your kid 1 year in advance. So Sid and I did that recently, and there was a form where you had to write what you do and what the father does. I somehow didn't feel comfortable writing content creator.
Why?
Because I feel like people just judge. Like I proudly wrote entrepreneur. Arabella, but I couldn't like get myself to write content creator because I just feel like people just, you know, think that ye time pass kar rahi hai.
Yeah, right.
You know, people don't take it seriously. It's still not a respectable job. The amount of money content creators make is insane, but still I feel like it's not a respectable job for some reason.
So according to you, how an individual should change their perception and mind towards this thing?
I feel like people should get a life and people should really kind of educate themselves, because people are just so ignorant. They just, you know, the thing is, everyone wants to do it.
Exactly.
But they don't want to say it.
Exactly.
Everyone.
Nowadays, parents want their kid to become a content creator or a model or a blogger.
Even elder people. सच बात
बताऊं, मैंने तो मेरे बायोडेटा में शादी के लिए लड़की ढूंढ रहा, मेरे तो उसमें भी लिखा है I'm a content creator. Yeah, because
I love it. I
accept that fucking fact. People, so I'll tell you, till date, no one knows exactly what fucking Kshitiz does. Alright. And when I wrote that thing, it's on my bio also, I'm a content creator, and hell fucking whatever people want to think, they can. ठीक है, पहले मेरे dad को लोग बोलते थे कि आपका बेटा तो content बनाता है, ये बनाता है, वो बनाता है, तो my dad was like, so? तो तू पिक्चर देखता है, this is like a short version of
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
Alright, and I was so fucking proud of me that my dad is supporting me so much. I mean, my dad is also sharing all my reels and
So
everything. I was
sweet.
like, dude, wow.
Yeah.
So initially when I started creating content, my dad is like, भाई तू क्या इडली मसाला डोसा ये सब बेच रहा है, एकदम why are you go slow.
Yeah.
So I mean, family support is so important. So that's my another question to you, that how supportive, as you said that your family was so supportive, your pre-marriage, your own parents were supportive, and now भाई पूरा ससुराल तुम्हारा support कर रहा है. I mean, that's
I'm in
like
love. So like literally it's so opposite. Like normally once you get married you have to be a little like careful. My parents though were very supportive because my parents come from creative fields and they're my parents, they're of course very supportive, but my in-laws, like I love them so much, genuinely. I just want to say thank you to them. My father-in-law, like there are times when I take early morning flights, he'll come and drop me.
Wow.
I remember just recently I was going to Milan.
Okay.
And I was feeling very sad because I'd just come back from a trip and I was leaving my son again to go on another work trip. And my father-in-law was like, "Hum hai na yaar, you're working hard for him only na, you're making a future for him. Why are you so sad? Hum sambhal lenge yaar, you focus on your work." And that's just so priceless. Even my mother-in-law, like I've just lucked out yaar. I'm just very grateful to have a family like them.
The worst thing I've ever heard in this era of influencer and blogger is ये सारे इन्फ्लुएंसर और ब्लॉगर्स के तो बॉयफ्रेंड्स है, और या तो शुगर डैडीज़ के पैसों पे इतना ट्रैवल करते, ये करते, वो करते. आई एम श्योर टचवुड ऐसा कभी हो भी नहीं, ठीक है, बट आई एम श्योर दैट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल माइट बी टॉकिंग थिंग्स फॉर अबाउट यू, और दूसरों के बारे में तो बहुत ही, ठीक है. आई मीन लाइक, why a girl cannot spend her own money and go on trips? That's fine. They don't know that it's for real. So what's your take on that? Because a lot of people think that ये सारे bloggers और models जितने भी हैं, इन लोग travel कर रहे हैं because of their boyfriends and their sugar daddies.
I'll tell you what, that's the thing, people are so ignorant. Like that is the word. Like abhi fir bhi, just in recent times, people have started realizing, that this is a lot of work, because people have also tried doing what we do. Initially, people just thought that we did this for free gifts, and that's how our house was running.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've also got that. Also, I feel like when people look at you on social media,
Correct.
They don't know who you really are. They just judge you for the way you look. Correct. And whatever. So people have this perception about me that she's just a rich girl who has her daddy's money and spending her dad's money and enjoying life, which is anything from true. I had the choice of enjoying my dad's money, but I didn't do that.
You didn't.
From the age of 21, 22, I've always, I've never taken money from my parents after that age. And even for Arabella, I was lucky that my parents helped me out with Arabella at that young age. But after that, it was all me.
Correct.
So they're just very proud, but people still have that misconception that she only parties, only spends her dad's money and her husband's money, which is anything but true.
Someone told me that she's so snobbish, but you're not. But why? I mean, people see on social media, guys, you need to understand that sometimes we have to do things for our social media.
Yeah.
All right. When we show things, it does not mean that we are spending someone else's money.
Yeah.
It's ours.
It's ours. Yeah.
And I went for a party, and over there was this famous blogger, I don't want to name. And someone was like, bro, ये तो लुखी है, इसके तो 8-10 sugar babies लेके घूमती है. And I was like, no, bro, I know for a fact her friend is like my friend. I know that how much like hard work she is doing. So I mean, that's like so bad.
I feel like that's the thing. Yeah, like this is my biggest thumb rule, that I don't like to judge a book by its cover. So a lot of times, people like to just gossip about people, and I don't like to be a part of those gossips, because I'm like, till the time I don't see it, I'm not gonna believe it.
Yeah.
And I just hope
do you know that when my research team was sitting and like curating content for this podcast, you won't believe that we hardly got any controversial things about you. I mean, we got for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not even fucking kidding. And I'm like, bro, isko thoda fun to banana.
But I feel like I'm a boring person that way. Yeah, like I've been with the same guy all my life.
I don't feel like when we met, you were not boring. I mean, why you were calling yourself boring? That I don't know, guys. She's lying. She's not boring.
No, but in terms of I mean, I can have a great time. But like in terms of controversies, my life is
like that.
Yeah, like my life has been a straight line. Like that, I've not had like, I've always been with the same guy.
Right.
I've not done like fun things that way, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Even when I was in London at the age of 20, and what do kids do at 20? Go party?
शराब, party, नशे,
exactly.
chill.
मैं पता क्या करती थी? मैं मॉल जाके बैठती थी. मैं shopping करती थी. मतलब that was like my, indulgence. I didn't do
that's
much.
where how
मैं
your
कुछ
passion meets
yeah.
your entrepreneurship
So
journey.
and again, people think that I love to party. I'm like this party animal. Anything from that. In fact, people think that my husband is an introvert because he looks like that. He's like chashma pehanta and all that. So people think he's like सीधा साधा.
Pharmaceutical से doctor होगा?
हाँ. But he's an outrovert. He's an
Okay.
extrovert, and I am an introvert. And people just don't believe
As you
that.
rightly said, don't judge the book by its cover. You should know that person
Yeah.
before judging.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me one thing. If someone wants to become a blogger, all right, how a person should start with a thought till he or she becomes a blogger?
Okay.
Like, what would be your 5-minute business plan rule for?
So, firstly, I feel like the term blogger is not relevant today.
Correct.
Because, again, people are not blogging.
Correct.
Even I don't blog. I'm a
Yeah.
content creator now. I'm not a
Correct.
blogger anymore. But if you want to be a content creator, firstly, find a differentiator. Don't just create content just because you feel like I want to make money. Do
Correct.
it because you enjoy it. Because if you're in it for the wrong reason, you won't sustain. But if
Right,
you're
right.
doing it because you love doing what you're doing and you're enjoying it, it will click at some point because it will show. So be consistent, work very hard, have a differentiating factor, and I think these three things are the main things.
Yeah, but see, now a lot of people have a misconception about that कि blogging के अंदर भी पहले तुम्हें shopping करनी पड़ती है ताकि वो तुम उसके shoot करो, कैमरा लेना पड़ता है या तो फोटोग्राफर को देना पड़ेगा, ये देना पड़ेगा, वो देना पड़ेगा, फिर बाद में followers बढ़ेंगे कि नहीं बढ़ेंगे. So the person who wants to get into this industry, there's a lot of questions running in his or her mind. So what's your take on that?
From a fashion point of view, yes and no. If you want to like be a luxury content creator, sure. I mean, if you will have to
Correct.
kind of invest in a certain type of wardrobe, but also like look at Nancy Tyagi. Like look at her, dude.
But there was also a controversy that she paid a lot of money to get over there.
I don't want to like. So I'll tell you what.
Silence.
I'll tell you what. I was supposed to.
But that's the truth. Because that's why a lot of articles would say.
So again, like I'll tell you what. I was supposed to do this season of Cannes as well. My agency was in talks with Brute, and I know how things went down. So fair. But what I'm trying to say is like the kind of content Nancy creates, right? It's very like humble. It comes from humble beginnings, right? She's not like going and shopping and like she doesn't have this massive wardrobe. She's creating things from scratch. So people can also do that. Like you don't have to, buy expensive things. You can just like create things on your own. So you just have to be creative.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't answer my question. Slide move.
What do you want me to say?
Slide move. Okay, let's do Uno reverse. What do you think of that? Did she really pay?
So I'll tell you how this
Yeah.
works. So will I get into trouble?
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, it's like, see, it's not about getting into
I don't
trouble
think
or
I'll
not.
get into trouble.
It's about you should know that how this world works. Alright, that's my entire.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how even Fashion Week works, for example, not just Cannes. So what happens is going to Fashion Week, because I do a lot of Fashion Week, so I'll tell you from my experience, it's very expensive, right?
Right.
So we take a lot of collaborations with us when we go there.
Hanji.
We shoot for a lot of brands and we make money through that. Of course, we're not getting paid to attend shows.
Of course.
But we can't make these trips and not make money and come back home. Now we have to make money out of what we're doing.
Of course.
So I'm assuming that even Nancy did that, but you have to work with brands that will give you the money, like that will make you money when you're on these trips, and yeah,
so
it's like
putting
a win-win situation.
Putting down in a nutshell, for instance, that these people got into a lot of collaborations with their clothes or hair or whatever, that money they got into this thing, because there was an entire chart. He or she paid this much, she paid this much. And first,
see, I do want to comment on that, but then I'm assuming that's how it works, because that's what I would do and that's what I do when I go to Fashion Week.
So see, my problem is not that he or she is paying. Fuck it, let them pay. My problem is first 10 days you showed a lot of love.
Yeah.
Alright, you showed a lot of appreciation. But then you fucking trolled each one of them by saying that in log khud ke bal pe nahi, in log paise de ke aaye.
But paise to de pa rahe na.
Exactly, that's what.
It's a lot of fucking money, dude.
I mean, 40 lakhs. I read somewhere some person paid 40 lakhs. And I was
the fact that this person can give 40 lakhs just to walk a red carpet, bro, even that on its own is very cool.
No, so there was a controversy that if she comes from that kind of a background, how the fuck she paid. So again, so the reason I asked you earlier the question of being sugar daddy and all this thing, so that every debate came into that controversy.
See, again, like she went with Brute. So I'm sure they had some sort of an understanding. But I don't know about Nancy. But I'm talking from my experience that you normally take a lot of brand deals with you on these trips. Because these trips are very expensive. And that's what I do. Like a minimum 5 to 6 collaborations that will, you know, fetch you all the money. And you're making money out of these trips. You're not just going there and dressing up and taking photos and coming back. You're making money.
That's fine. Yeah. I know. But yeah, somehow we got the answer. Yeah. But tell me one thing. How much of a toll it takes to become an influencer or a blogger or a content creator? Like, what's your entire life journey? If you're outside somewhere and shooting, you have to plan everything. How much of a toll it takes on your head?
I'll tell you what, it's very exhausting. I've not taken a holiday. Like, you guys see me going on trips and whatnot every other month, but genuinely, I've not taken a holiday for the past 8 to 9 years since the time I've been doing this. Because when I'm on a holiday, that's when I want to create maximum content.
Yeah.
When you're in a beautiful setting, don't you want to shoot all the time?
Of course.
Luckily, my husband is very supportive. Bichara, he'll help me with all the content. And then, but now we have ground rules. Like if we're traveling for 3 days, 2 days I'll shoot content, but that one day
has to be without.
We have to keep our phones aside and just chill.
Correct.
So it is a lot, yeah. Like even like during personal, but you know what? Sometimes you have to put your foot down. During my wedding, right? I was
your
so
wedding was talk of the town, bro.
I mean, but you know what? I didn't try to make it.
Right.
I'll tell you what. Like I put my foot down. I was like, it's my wedding, and it'll be unfair to my husband if I'm only obsessing about content. Wow. Like I love the man I'm marrying, and I just want to be in this moment and enjoy that moment. It's not gonna come back. I kept my phone aside for 3 days. The only people that were like taking stories and all were my friends, but I didn't have my phone with me.
And that shit got viral.
I didn't. I'm glad it did, but then I didn't try for it to go viral. You know, I just truly enjoyed I had a blast.
And you were just with your Kabira.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So you have to put your foot down to answer your question. You have to kind of, create a balance. Work-life balance is key in any field that you're in. It's not just about content creation.
Right.
Yeah.
Lastly, one thing about career. So see, everyone who is becoming a fashion influencer, blogger, content creator, everyone is running in a bhedchal of, like, let's say abhi ek era chal raha hai street. Everyone's doing a street. Fir ek era hai boho. Everyone's doing a boho. So what's your thing which you want to tell the audience that when you start this thing, this is how you should pick up your niche or your USP or your something which a differentiator, as you rightly said, because everyone is going in bhedchal. Everyone.
So this, I mean, obviously is with regards to fashion creators. You guys need to realize one thing, right? Trends is one thing and personal style is one thing.
Correct.
So you need to have your own personal style to be a fashion creator. If your personal style is like classics and minimal, stick to that. If your personal style is like loud and wearing fun colors, stick to that. But you can't like try to do what everyone is doing. Then you're just a nobody.
Correct.
But like, for example, like my personal style is very minimal, feminine, sexy. And I feel like I've stuck to that since day one. I've evolved, I've grown as a person. Like now, the way I dressed, say 5 years ago, I probably won't wear the same clothes now. But I'm still sticking to that genre because like that's who I am as a person. So kind of...
Because that's your identity.
Yeah, like create your identity. Don't just, do something just because someone else is doing it. Buy a dress, for example, but make it your own. Like wear it how you would want to wear it.
Wow, I can make a poster of this. Buy a dress,
yeah,
make it on your own.
Exactly.
I mean, that can be like, bro, this can be a thumbnail of our one reel.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, Juhi, tell me one thing. Who were your top 5 people whom were you close to and who helped your journey, or at the same time you helped their journey? So, who were those top 5 creators or bloggers or influencers from your era?
My era?
Era, you guys started, you were the pioneers. Yeah, but now the era has changed too because a lot of other people, because you were, for me, you guys were the pioneers.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So I was actually very shy when I started. Like I wasn't someone
shy in the way of?
In the sense that I couldn't go up to a stranger and start talking.
Okay.
So people misunderstood that for me being snobby.
Okay.
But
you're not snobby.
Yeah, but the point is that because I was like that, people thought I was snobby, but I was just like very shy and introvert. But I made a bunch of friends, and we're still friends, which is Riya Jain, Ashna Shroff, and Santoshi Shetty. The four of us were like super tight.
In my top 5 panelists, only these people were only
Yeah.
there. So you guys were talk of the nation, all right, in this industry. So had there been any time or any instances के भाई you guys were like कैसे collaborations मिलते हैं तो तुम लोग ने लड़े हो या कुछ ऐसा? No fights never ever happened?
Surprisingly, never. And honestly, we were like the most supportive bunch of girls. Like, we were so proud of each other, always happy for each other. There were times when we also like picked up the phone and discussed numbers.
Wow.
And guided each other कि अच्छा इसको कितना quote किया है. Like, we've literally done that.
But it is how it should be, because market तोड़ देते हैं
absolutely. And also the point is that we all, like the four of us, have our own like genres, and like we all have like our own distinguished styles, so we don't kind of step on each other's toes.
Correct.
Like Riya is known for a certain style,
Correct,
Ashna is known for something, Santoshi is known for something, so like we know that we all kind of have our own identity, so we have nothing to be kind of worried about.
So earlier it was the face value, all right? That's how the collaboration were given, because I come from this field, all right, of influencer marketing, so I know at a pretty fair way. But now the things are like the brands usually give on the reach, impressions and everything.
I disagree.
So now what, according to you, why I am asking this question, because a lot of people think that deals are given on certain basis. So according to you, these brands, they look what?
I'll tell you what. So it's a package. It's not just about the numbers. You'll see a lot of creators for some reason that have like 1 million plus followers, but then do they have any sort of like a brand name or any recall value? Maybe not. So it's also about the brand name that you've created for yourself as a person, the weightage that you're bringing to a brand. Now there are a lot of luxury brands, right, that choose to say work with me or a creator like me because of the face value and the brand value that we're bringing to the brand, and also like the brand image, right? It kind of has to sit well. I have to like represent the brand really well. So there could be times when a certain influencer has a great reach, but maybe they don't work, they're not the right fit for a certain brand. So it's not just about the numbers. Of course, numbers are very important because brands are putting in a lot of money, so they want that kind of reach. But along with that, it's also about the weightage that you're bringing, as an influencer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how do you approach, like, so earlier I'm sure right now तो आपको ज़रूरत भी नहीं पड़ती होगी to reach out to brands and everything, because I'm very sure that they might be coming to you only. But earlier, what was the strategy to get the brand collaborations?
Touch wood, and like not to sound not to sound snobby, but I've actually never reached out to a brand in my life
since the inception.
Since the beginning, because like when I started, as I said, I didn't know that this was a job.
Correct.
The first time I got a project, I was just excited that I'm getting a project.
What was your first project?
And I didn't even ask कि पैसे कितने मिलेंगे, because I didn't know
of course,
that I would.
Because it's your first.
No, listen, I didn't even know I would get paid for it. And I was so excited. I was so excited that I forgot to even ask for the money later.
What?
I was paid 30,000, which is a very good amount for
at that time.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I forgot to even ask for the money because I was so excited कि मैंने पैसे ही नहीं मांगे. And then they were like, don't you want to get paid for this? I was like, yeah, whatever. So I was very excited, but like I started doing this in a way that I didn't know I would get paid for it.
और तुम्हें पता है ये the collaboration thing started, collaborative as in helping each other influencer was started from you guys, that साथ में रील बनाते हैं या साथ में whatever चीज़ करते हैं.
Yeah, the collaborative reel.
Exactly. But at the same time, you never thought of you four, when you say that you guys were very intact with each other, you guys never thought of starting a band together.
Not a band.
Brand. Yeah.
Brand. Okay, brand. No, but as I said, like I strongly believe that you shouldn't mix business with friendship.
Friendship.
Because even in fact, a lot of people have started blogs together. Some I don't know, some blogs have been successfully run, but most of them fall apart. Because when two people come together with different creative ideologies, like you can't sustain for too long.
Correct.
Because at the end of it, you kind of want to have the ownership, right? Correct. Like when you're doing something, you want to be the decision maker.
Correct.
And when you kind of have to divide that decision making, you can't always be kind of doing it in a...
True, makes sense.
So I feel like I'm very possessive and protective about the way I do things.
But that's how it should be, because you are in your own terms and conditions.
Even with my team, right? Like my internal team, my core team has been with me since pretty much day one. And we've kind of...
you just said she's a family.
Yeah, Anisha, she's family.
She's family.
Oh my God, she's my backbone, right? But like we've kind of molded ourselves in a way that we kind of know exactly what we want. We think in the same manner.
Correct.
which is where I'm comfortable. But the minute an outsider comes in, we always have differences. And in the end, like for example, okay, like an outsider will come and try to edit a video of mine, but in the end, I'll go and change everything because I want it a certain way. Then I'm like, Ari, Aishra only edited it.
Yeah.
I'm that person.
Okay.
So I am a control freak.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So now tell me one thing, your brand is doing so good and now you're back with your baby.
Yeah.
On your which is brand. Are you open for investments? What if, because see, in today's world right now, everyone is running behind foreign investments or let's say angel investors and everything. So what about your brand?
So see, right now we're bootstrapped.
Okay.
And we don't see the need to get investments as of, I mean, we've got a lot of offers. But I feel like it's not the right time as of now.
Correct.
This year, we're planning to invest a lot of money in marketing. For the past 3 years, we've only been running the brand with zero marketing budgets.
Wow.
And we're still a profit-making company, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and zero marketing budgets. Obviously, like with what I do, it really helps. I also have a lot of friends in the industry who happily wear my clothes and, you know, tag us, or celebrity engagement as well. So that's helped us a lot. And of course, we do performance marketing. But we've not really heavily invested in marketing. But this year, we're planning to kind of go heavy with the budgets. And when it's the right time, we will take investments.
Let's assume that I have to invest, all right, in your company.
Yeah.
What are those? Give me like 5 reasons that why I should invest in your company.
Firstly, we're a one-of-a-kind brand.
Okay.
And I feel like, I don't think I need to give you five reasons. I feel like our numbers will do the talking.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, honestly. I'm very proud of that.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
So see, why I asked you this question, because I want people to understand a fact that आज तुम जितना भी ब्रांडिंग में पैसे डाल लो या आजकल लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कैसे लेते हैं, लोग पैसे डाल के मार्केटिंग करके, यू राइटली से इट्स ऑल अबाउट नंबर्स. एंड तुम्हें पता भी नहीं होगा कि शार्क टैंक पे आधी डील क्लोज होने के बाद वो डील होती ही नहीं है. तो आई रियली नीड पीपल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट it's all about numbers.
Can I tell you something? People
Please,
think,
this is it.
Yeah, people think कि investment ले लिया ना तो it's like a fancy term that, oh, I've got an investment. Taking money is very easy, but
Very
living up
easy.
to it is not. When you
Because
own,
you become answerable to someone.
Absolutely. When it's your own brand, you're your own boss. I love this term. I'm my own boss.
मैं खुद की मालकिन
Exactly,
हूँ.
literally. तो Arabella के साथ भी अभी we're not answerable to anyone, and we want, as I said, I want to make it big, right? Eventually, maybe we'll sell the company at a good figure, maybe.
Figure, yeah.
But as of now, we want to build it. So I think it's not the right time. Eventually, maybe. But as of now, we're happy being bootstrapped, and we have some amazing things planned ahead.
Are you open to start one more new venture or something which comes in your mind that no, I want to do this also?
I already have a few things planned, and we've already registered
Let's do
the
something
name.
together, no? Tell me.
Chalo, I'm always up for it. You're a Madu.
Madu boy.
I'm a Sindhi and married to a Madu, so absolutely karte hain.
So what is that? What would be that one thing which you really need to start ASAP according to the current trends?
I feel like my expertise, as I said, is clothing, right?
Correct.
You have to get into something that you know a lot about.
Correct.
You can't get into a business just because.
Of course.
So I'm also like, as of now, I've been investing in, real estate, and we've been putting up on rent, and like that is something I've been actively doing.
Wow.
So that's also like
my major income source comes from
exactly,
real estate through
and even
performance
for
marketing.
us, even for me and Sid, we've been heavily doing that. But if it has to be a business, it has to be something that I know a lot about, and for me,
Correct.
it's clothes.
Correct.
It's fashion. So anything
now,
to do with fashion.
Now that you already have a fashion brand, what would be the another thing?
Maybe a different vertical within it.
Okay.
And I've already registered the name.
What's that?
I don't want to say.
I want you to reveal. This is the best platform.
I feel like that has to wait, because obviously I want to kind of reveal it when it's the right time. But I want to get into menswear.
Okay.
And also kidswear, because Aryan has inspired me to do kidswear. Yeah.
But so kids, according to me and my research and my experience, I feel that kidswear is like very lucrative business.
Absolutely.
Because parents don't think much before spending.
Now that I'm a mom, I
Yeah.
literally... So anytime I go, for example, on an online website or when I'm traveling, I'm directly into the kids section. Forget what I want, forget what my husband wants. It's about what do I get for Aryan. Because like the baby stuff is so cute, yeah. Like how do you not buy baby stuff? And I get very carried away. So Aryan's wardrobe right now is something. Like I need to stop.
So you really need to also vlog about it.
I do. Like I do travel vlogs, right? So like whenever I'm traveling, I'm always shopping for Aryan.
So you are also into in YouTube. When did you start YouTube then?
So the thing is, YouTube needs a lot of dedication, yeah. And I'm really trying. I've got a content team on board after all these years because like my followers were like, why don't you just get someone to edit your vlogs? But again, I'm such a control freak. Yeah. Even after they edit it, like I go through like 10 rounds of editing.
So
but
you're like a woman of perfection. I want this only.
But I am trying to be more consistent on YouTube, and I started YouTube I think like 5-6 years ago. And I only post mostly when I'm traveling. I love like, and you know, I vlog for myself.
That's good.
Yeah, like because I want to like look back.
The charm which you carry now, I'm pretty sure that shit can go viral, bro. Because the way you speak, the way you show your entire journey, and the way you are talking also right now, I'm pretty sure that you should start this ASAP.
I will.
Anisha,
kya kar rahe ho? Let's do it. No, she's always like, but honestly, there's so much going on right now. Yeah. Like I can't. I'm not complaining. I am a little overwhelmed right now, specifically because I'm still a new mom, and it takes a lot of my time. I love it.
So how do you? My next question was only this: like, how do you manage your entire? And by the way, guys, if you don't know, her entire family is like full of diversities. आपने बताया आपके parents are like your mom is
Sindhi.
Your mom is Sindhi.
Dad is Maharashtrian.
Your dad is Maharashtrian. Your husband is Marwadi. I mean, सब चीज का experience तुम ले ही रहे हो.
Absolutely. Best of all worlds.
Exactly. So how are you managing your personal life now that you have such an amazing, beautiful baby? How are you managing your work life with your personal life?
See, it can get overwhelming, honestly. Like there are times when I just want to run back home. I feel like my pregnancy was so smooth. I had a blast. It was touchwood, the best time of my life. But after I had the baby now, I'm a workaholic. Right. Okay? And after I had the baby, I felt that postpartum. But
you don't look like that you are a mother of a child. Because
I don't know what that means also. You know, a lot of times people say that. I feel like there's a misconception that once you're a mother, you have to look a certain way.
No, it's not about that. It's about something like you don't look that you just recently became pregnant.
But I did work hard on myself. Yeah. I started working out from month 2.
Correct.
It's not that difficult, yeah. If you put your head to it, you'll do it. Right. And for me, it was very important to, you know, look like it's not even about the looks. I wanted to be fit. Correct. Genuinely. So I started working out very early. But that first month of after my pregnancy was very difficult for me. Okay. Because I wanted to get back. I felt like I was losing my identity. Like I don't want to be known as only Aryan's mom. I want to be known as Juhi Godambi, the entrepreneur, Juhi Godambi, the content creator, Juhi Godambi.
Don't worry, you are known for that only.
I know. And you know, that's the thing. Like my husband was like, can you relax?
Are you an overthinker?
I am.
That's why.
And I feel like I try to be an overachiever, and sometimes I need to calm down. So I didn't work for 20 days and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm wasting my time. I can't be watching Netflix in the afternoon. What's wrong with me? Like I overthink.
Have you ever tried to give up?
I can't. I don't think I ever can stop.
Have you ever had that thought also? अब नहीं हो रहा यार, बहुत चीज हो गई है.
कभी नहीं. I love what I do, and also I feel like I'm very lucky to be in this position. Yeah, like tell me how many, 20-something-year-olds are able to follow their passion, make the money, and get to work very hard, but also live this amazing life where you get to travel so much, meet amazing people. So if I look at the perks of my job, I mean, theek hai, like it's just hard work that I can do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Juhi, you were very open about your journey with PCOS. Correct. How has it affected your career and personal life? Because my employees were very much fascinated about whatever you spoke or wrote or shared your journey.
Yeah.
All right. And they told me that, sir, this is hard. All right. So I really want the audience to know that how did you manage everything?
So PCOS, it normally affects people with like weight gain or like weight loss. With me, it was skin.
Correct.
Okay, so when I just started content creation, I used to have horrible breakouts. Like it's a very sensitive topic, and I used to be very underconfident because of the way my skin looked. I used to have a lot of acne, okay? And for some reason, I went to the best of doctors, but they couldn't figure out what this was. And one day, finally, I went to my dermatologist, who I still go to, and he was like, why don't you do a couple of blood tests? I think it could be PCOD. And I didn't know what that was. I went and did it, and yes, it was PCOD. And then we started dealing with it. But one very, there's this one incident that happened with me that really broke me, okay? So I remember I did this campaign for a very famous makeup brand where I was supposed to be on hoardings for them. And it was a big deal. This is very early on in my career. Yeah. We were 5 influencers doing this, where we were supposed to be on hoardings and across stores in India.
Okay.
And it was a big deal, obviously. But they cut me out. They cut me out in a lot of these hoardings because my skin didn't look good.
Okay.
And that broke me. I was like, dude, this was such a big deal. I was so excited but
about it,
I was, they kind of cut me out and they only showed a little bit of me because of the way my skin looked. And I was like, shit, like, what do I do? Because I always worked out. I always ate right. I did everything. But
that's not even your problem. That's
but I was like, how do I fix this? And I'm so, even till today.
So did you try to fix it like with the brand? Like why did you try to talk it out with the brand?
I was too young and I was too scared.
Oh,
for me, like asking questions and saying no was like, it's something that I've learned now. But back then, like getting that opportunity was such a big deal. So the only way I reciprocated was by going home and crying and just feeling bad about it.
Correct. But is crying okay for you?
Yeah.
Hai
Yeah.
Crying is okay, right?
Absolutely.
People think that crying is makes you feel loser, but I personally feel I'm a man, I cry.
Absolutely.
It's okay to cry.
Yeah. You should kind of it's how else do you express, right?
Exactly. And people think that if man cannot cry, I mean, no, dude, my dad cries, everyone cries.
Yeah.
But what's that one thing like per se that someone is going through the same thing? What's your take on that thing? Like what that person should focus on?
I feel like, trust me when I say this, it's a phase, because I feel like now my skin looks great from what it was. I'm very happy and content, and it's a process, but just work towards it, build a healthy lifestyle. It's very important to eat right. Obviously, like, don't just focus on eating right. Sometimes have like fun days and you're eating out and all, but then create a nice healthy lifestyle and it will eventually be okay. So you
should be happy from within.
Yeah, I feel like just be patient. It's a phase,
it's
and
a journey,
you will get out of it.
Perfect. What was the most happiest moment of your life in your work life?
In my work life, okay. I feel like, see, this is gonna sound very like whatever, but like every other day, like whenever there is like for example, last week I did something with Google, and that was really exciting.
We were gonna talk about it,
and that was very exciting. So every time that I hit a milestone, it's exciting, and there are so many. But I think one of the very exciting times was when I was on hoardings with Nike.
Yeah, you did.
I've been like the Nike girl for a while, and I've done marathons with Nike, and that was a very exciting phase of my life. And when we did these hoardings across India, that was very cool.
So the first milestone, this was the most happiest moment of your life and like the best milestone, but what was the first milestone you ever achieved?
I feel Nike was again pretty early on in my career. Early? Yeah, it was like 4-5 years ago now. So
how did you celebrate your first 1 lakh followers? Because back then it was like a big thing, to reach out to 1 lakh. And how many months it took you?
But that's the thing. Sometimes I should learn from this. I don't celebrate things. I'm always like,
acha, ye ho gaya. Celebrate small things.
No, but that's the issue. I'm too like, acha, ye ho gaya na, theek hai, now the next one.
Oh, that's how it should be.
Yeah, like a lot of people would get a cake, 100K and all. I don't remember doing that. I was just like, okay, 100K is done, now 200K.
How many months it took you?
It took me a while. It took you a while. Because a lot of my contemporaries kind of got to 100K much sooner than me.
Correct.
But for me, I remember it took a while. I think it took me like 2 years.
2 years, right. But you were patient enough to reach to that level.
Surprisingly and luckily I was still getting the same work as them.
Correct.
So I was getting the work, so I was happy.
So is Juhi more into traveling? What excites you more? Traveling, food or clothing, fashion?
Everything. All of it.
Everything.
I'm a foodie. Like that's what people think, that I don't eat. I only eat salads and all. I love eating healthy, but also at the same time I love food.
You'll go all street if necessary.
Maybe.
See, मेरा थोड़ा snobbish आ ही जाता है.
नहीं, snobbish नहीं है, but of course. I enjoy घर का खाना.
Okay. Yeah. What's your most favorite thing?
Mom के हाथ का साई भाजी and rice.
Oh, nice.
It's like very घर का खाना. Like I love.
Where did you go for your honeymoon?
We went to Russia.
Okay, how was it? Tell me that experience.
Amazing. So this was again during COVID.
Okay.
And the reason why we chose Russia was because it was the only country where you could travel to during COVID.
Multiple places.
Yeah. No, without having to you could travel freely, right?
Correct.
When I went to Russia, there was no concept of wearing a mask.
Okay.
We felt like we've gone back to pre-COVID times.
Okay.
So it was the best fucking week of my life.
What did you do?
We did a lot of things. I don't want to.
Yeah,
but the highlight was. So I'll tell you about the last day. Okay, it's a very funny story. So we went to this club last day. We wanted to go all out. I remember the place was called Toy Room in Moscow. Sid and I went all out and we got like a little tipsy. And both of us sat in the cab and we passed out in the cab and our driver had to wake us up. Ki, boss, you've reached, like wake up. So we go to our room and we weren't packed, nothing.
Correct.
We pass out.
Okay.
And the next afternoon we wake up at 3 and
Did you miss your flight?
I see that there were 20-30 missed calls on my phone, on Sid's phone. Bags are not packed. Flight was at 10 in the morning.
Oh!
We woken up at 3. We were like, what the fuck happened? And we got so lucky because the calls were to tell us that the flight was postponed to the next day.
Oh,
and we were like, what is our luck? And yeah, like we got that one extra day in Moscow and...
So your luck is always with your travel. Today morning also you were going to miss out this thing.
I was going to miss my train. I literally had that typical DDLJ scene where I'm running. My driver like drove like Max Verstappen and we made it in 30 minutes to Bombay Central. It was amazing.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So we had a talk about everything.
Yeah.
But what's that one thing to all the entrepreneurs over here you want to say? Like what are those first top 3 things, like do this and do that? What are the do's and don'ts according to you for an entrepreneur?
I feel it's very easy to get carried away with multiple things, but focus on one thing, make it a success, and then move on to the next one. Don't try to do too much at once because personal experience, I feel it doesn't work. Like I said, I want to start menswear, but the reason why I'm holding back is because I want
You wanna make
Arabella.
the first thing perfect.
Exactly, I want Arabella to become big, and then I'll move on to the next one.
Wow.
So, and obviously work very fucking hard. Like, there's no other way out.
Crazy, bro. I'll see you in Forbes soon. Man.
Yeah, I hope. Actually, you will.
Of course.
Yeah, you will.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. पहले तो मैं ट्राई करूंगा, फिर ही करूंगा ये चीज़ होगी तो ही करूंगा मैं, वरना मैं नहीं करूंगा, मैं कतई ही नहीं करूंगा ये चीज़. देखो कुछ नहीं दे रहा है, चल झूठी
नहीं दे रहा है.
बोल. अरे अभी तो बोले नहीं दे
Lips. पता चल रहा है क्या बोल रहे हैं. but-
Anisha, say something.
I swear I can't. Yeah.
Juhi, can you hear me? Juhi,
What?
Juhi, can you hear me? Juhi. Okay, fine. Yeah, she can't hear. Okay, first word. Okay. I love Aryan more than Sid. I love Aryan more than Sid.
I love Aryan more than Sid. I swear I read your lips.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay. Second. Arabella over Zara any day. Arabella over Zara any day. Arabella.
I got the first word.
Say.
Arabella.
Over Zara any day. Try speaking.
Say it again. No, and go slow.
Arabella over Zara any day.
Anything is the last word.
Arabella over Zara any day.
Arabella over Zara any day.
Did you reduce the उनका mic? Okay. Okay. Juhi and Santoshi are best friends.
Say again.
Juhi and Santoshi are best friends.
Say again.
Juhi and Santoshi are best friends. It was such an awkward silence. Juhi and Santoshi are best friends. Try speaking.
Juhi and
And
Santoshi are best friends.
She can do every fucking thing. How? Okay, last one.
Okay.
Okay. तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता तुम इतनी खूबसूरत हो. तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता तुम इतनी खूबसूरत हो.
Say
तुम्हारा
again.
कोई
Go
हक-
slow.
The reason why I'm going
Go
fast
slow.
is because you are taking my case, bro.
हाँ.
तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता तुम इतनी खूबसूरत हो. तुम्हारा कोई
La 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 la. It looks like that.
तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता तुम इतनी खूबसूरत हो. Try. तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता तुम इतनी खूबसूरत हो.
Okay,
लगो.
this is tough. I can't tell.
तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता कि तुम इतनी खूबसूरत लगो. तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं.
Kuwait.
Kuwait. Who is Kuwait?
हाँ?
तुम्हारा कोई हक नहीं बनता. कोई हक नहीं बनता
Okay, कोई हक नहीं बनता
कि तुम खूबसूरत लगो.
कि तुम खूबसूरत लगो.
Yay!
Okay.
Last, okay? Fuck this shit. Very random. I am going to fire Anisha and Kshitiz is hiring Anisha. I am gonna fire Anisha.
Kshitiz
I am going to fire Anisha and Kshitiz is hiring Anisha.
Too long.
Okay, wait. I am going to fire Anisha. I am going to
Fire
Anisha.
Love Anisha forever. Never.
Okay, guys, so this is it. We had a crazy podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you're coming on my birthday. With Sid.
If I'm invited, sure.
Of course. And you are
I
also
saw
coming.
the invite. It looks pretty fancy.
I didn't see the invite. That was just a dress code, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
हम भी हैं थोड़े fancy.
Yeah, कुछ ज़्यादा ही.
So guys, this is it. See you in the next podcast. Chalo.
Yay.